Howdy, this is Mackenzie Franklin from SideGameLLC here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Today we're going to be taking a look at Cloudspire and seeing how we're going to fit it into its box with all of the current expansion content as of March 2021. So this is going to include the version 2 rule sets, the new scenario books, and all of the new character expansions. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the box. Now, before we start, I do want to mention that we will have about 3/4 of an inch of lid lift on this one, but it does fit very nicely inside. So let's go ahead and jump in. First off, we lift off the lid, and you'll see that we have the tiles outside of their original box. So we're actually going to be using one of those expansion boxes here. So for this one, we have the Uprising, and they're going to really nicely hold all those tiles. So we've got all of the map tiles as well as the strongholds all here, and they fit flush to the side here. So really nice. You can see how it just fits really snugly there. So it helps with keeping the top on really nicely. So that all is just placed on the top. Underneath, you're going to have all of the faction sheets, the expansion guides, and the rule book, as well as the rules reference. Now you'll notice that I don't have any of the scenario sheets because we do have the large playable histories in the hardback books. So you do not need any of the other scenario guides and whatnot because the Ankar's Plunder and Joining War will have all that content in it. So you can go ahead and toss those. There's no reason to keep them. Up next, we're going to go ahead and take a look at this right side here. First off, we have our 2 decks. So we've got our deck box 1. This is going to contain all the event cards. We've got deck box 2, which contains all of the relic cards, as well as the rules reference for Horizon's Wrath, the pirate faction. On this side, we're going to have all the dice organized in that classic chip theory dice tray. Really nice. You can kind of organize them based on color here. That way all the factions' dice are grouped with each other. Really, really nice. You'll have the chip organizers here. So you've got lots of room here for the spires and your factions and your heroes. Really well done. You've got 2 silica gel packets in here for freshness, keep everything nice. You've got your pegs here for your upgrades and advancements and emergency builds. Now this box is going to contain all your landmarks. So it's important that you separate them into 2 distinct sections. On this left side, this big chunk, these are going to be the landmarks that you pick from every game. And then in these sections, you're going to be using them for expansion content. So if you do use the Portal Seekers expansion, and then this one is for relics particularly. So this is for the Ancient Traxar event. There's also one additional chip in the upgrade pack, the update pack, that wasn't mentioned yet. It doesn't really match any of the current upgrades, so waiting to hear back to see what we should do with this shrubbery and creeping vines chip. So for right now, it's just going to hang out in here with the landmarks, but you only need this one box for the landmarks. And then you'll also be using the standard box that they come with for the earth-shaped tiles. Really nice here. Now you'll notice right off the bat, there's actually, including the landmark box, there's actually one of these trays missing if you have all the content. You don't really need it. You can really consolidate things here in a well-organized manner. So up next, we've got our mercenary chips here. And with this new faction here, we've got a lot more mercenary chips to pick from. So we're going to actually group the faction, the Uprising, with the mercenary chips because they do interact with them so well. And they're a bit smaller than the other factions. Speaking of other factions, you've got these 2 containers that are going to contain all of the unit chips and spire chips for each of their individual factions. So in here we've got the Narora and the Heirs and the Grove Tenders. And on this one we've got Horizon's Wrath and the Bronin and the Greege. In this section we've got the upgraded premium health chips, and those all fit just really nicely in one of those large containers. And lastly, we've got the attack, the range, and the defense upgrades. And in this one, you're also going to store the health for the fortresses, the source counters, and then the mark tokens for each faction, as well as for the Horizon's Wrath, you're going to keep the plank chip in here as well. So that fits really nicely in here. And that's everything in the box, so let's go ahead and put it back. So first off, we're going to make sure that we have 3 of the chip trays going horizontally and 2 of the chip trays going vertically. We can go ahead and put the 2 joining workbooks on top of those. On the right side, we can put the earth-shaped tiles, the chip trays, the dice, the 2 deck boxes, the landmark chips, the pegs, silica gel packets, all of the additional rules references and faction guides. And then lastly, you'll take that expansion box with the tiles and slide it into that remaining space. And that is organizing Cloudspire with all current content. Ooh, let's put it the correct way here. Excellent. If you have any questions about what you saw here, please let me know down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. I hope some of you found this helpful, and if you'd like, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Once again, thank you so much. Side Game Strong.